In this city, on this street, in this apartment.
Hi, are you Allison Jones? I'm Hedra Carlson.
Hedra? That's unusual. When can you move in?
An ad for a roommate brought a stranger into Allison's life. Someone
You look beautiful on you.
who shares.
Well, it's kind of fun having a girlfriend again.
Someone
Do you guys know when you'll be back?
No, it's kind of an anniversary tonight.
Really?
who cares.
Where the hell have you been?
Making me feel like I'm 16 years old here.
Someone who borrows.
I've got a surprise for you.
You've got to be kidding.
I love myself like this.
It was like looking at myself. It was scary.
Someone who steals.
Hey, sleepy guy.
Ellie?
No, not Ellie.
Someone who would kill to be her.
Possible bloodstains.
Gotta help me, Grim.
She's a lunatic, Allie.
She needs me.
How do you lock the terror out
Don't make me come get you!
when you've already invited it in?
Look at me!
Bridget Fonda,
I know you weren't yourself when you did this thing.
Jennifer Jason Leigh,
I know. That was you.
single white female. Living with a roommate can be murder.
We're back.
Welcome back to another quarantine-tacular episode of the show.
Quarantine-tacular edition. Boys and girls. My name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay.
Yay!
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh, boy.
We just finished watching the movie.
Yeah, we
like a mere moments ago.
Turned it off seconds ago. And, I mean, this is hagsploitation at its finest.
Well, I should probably mention that we had an Instagram story poll of my kind of two hagsploitation movies. It was Single White Female, Beat Out, Notes on a Scandal. Which I feel like are two movies kind of cut from the similar fabric.
Sure.
I can fully talk for 2 hours on Notes on a Scandal, but that is not... Today is not the Notes on a Scandal episode.
It's not that day. It's a different day for that.
It's a different day. We are talking about Single White Female
Yes, indeed.
with our friend
Jose Galvez!
Jose Galvez.
Yay! Welcome to the show, Jose.
Let's see it. It's nice to put something on my calendar, so thank you. This is wonderful to have something scheduled.
I mean, yeah.
We know that you have a lot going on.
You didn't have to move a bunch of things around to get here. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Jose Galvez from Very Special Television, an amazing podcast that you may have heard of. Also from Jose Galvez Music. Oh my goodness!
From the band Ozma.
He's a jack of all trades and a master of none. Just kidding.
Yep.
So we were on a Zoom call with all the guys the other day, and you randomly dropped in the conversation that you saw Single White Female at the old Sunset 5, and I immediately was like, oh, wait a minute. We're going to be doing Single White Female within the next couple weeks. You should just come on for the episode.
Well, it's funny. I actually saw it at the Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Isn't that the Sunset 5?
No, in Sierra Madre.
Oh, I see.
I've watched a lot of movies at the LA Fitness and the Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
That's what they are now, but that's not what they were in the 90s when I would walk to the movie theater.
And it had that gigantic screen, right?
T2 was amazing on it. And
I feel like I saw Moulin Rouge at that theater.
They had long since knocked that theater down when I moved to Pasadena.
Oh yeah, it was the way of the dodo by the time you got here.
I used to go to that LA Fitness though.
It is a lovely LA Fitness.
Yeah, I just canceled my subscription.
Oh,
my subscription to Gold is on hold. You shouldn't have canceled it. You shouldn't have canceled it. They would have just held it.
Screw it.
before they canceled everything. So I'm like, I'm not going to,
Sure.
I'm kind of worried about this virus anyway, so I'm just probably not going to go. So
Yeah, I was in that weird no man's land week where we were just like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, we watched Single White Jose, did you pay for this movie? Did you bootleg it?
I had Carlos Espinal had his mom was a manager there and would give us these $1 tickets. So we would movies for $1, and they were like gold when he would give them out. So it was good to be friends with him.
Yeah.
But I think this was the movie where I brought a can of soda and I sat in the back. I snuck in, and it rolled all the way to the front.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I'm terrified. Terrified. Sodas rolling down the theater. People are looking back. What?
We used to do that in college, but it was beer.
Yeah, but that was a college town.
Yeah.
People knew like college students were drinking beer. This is like a family movie theater in Sierra Madre.
Definitely not a family movie, though.
No, this is not a family movie.
I was not. 92. No, I wasn't 17.
No, not at all. 92?
It was released August 11th, 1992. I should also mention that this movie is directed by Academy Award nominated director Barbette Schroeder and written by Don Roos.
Do you think Babette Schroeder directed the entire movie in a French maid uniform? His name is Barbette, but it is a man, Barbette Schroeder.
Did I say Babette?
No, you said Barbette. But
Barbette.
I like to call him Babette.
I make a lot of bar bets.
You know, am I going to make this bullseye on in this darts round? I don't place a lot of bar bets. I'm not that kind of guy. So, okay, you saw this movie in the movie theater, Jose. I saw this on VHS. We were way too young to be watching this, like, sexual, like...
I mean, these were the good old days of erotic thrillers.
This movie was erotic. That's the only way I can describe it as erotic.
A single light on in this entire movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
It was
goodness.
all moonlight the whole way through.
Yes. Yes.
There's beautiful, like, shadows on the walls from the bars, too.
Yes, the bars on the you know, fire escape and just like gauzy curtains everywhere.
It's a very beautifully directed movie.
Sure, it just looked like a Celine Dion video. Bonnie Tyler, yes. And also like maybe like CK1, there could be like a Calvin Klein like fragrance commercial going on in one of the rooms of this fabulous apartment. This apartment is crazy.
And this apartment is like kind of a version of the Dakota where John Lennon was shot. Just these old New York apartment buildings.
Right.
Well, so the intro of the establishing shot of the apartment building, the first thing I said to Scott was, did Chucky live in this building? Because doesn't it look
like that? Like the building was going to play a part.
Oh, for sure. But also in the very first Child's Play movie, it looks like this building, but it's actually not the same building.
I actually think the Child's Play building is in Los Angeles.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll have to look that up. But yeah, this there's so much nudity in this movie. My goodness.
Yeah. Just nudity for the sake of nudity.
Yeah, it's definitely nudity's sake, and it's definitely, you know, I feel like these two actresses at the time were, you know, they were name actresses. They were not like newcomers, not ingenues. Like we knew who they were.
I mean,
they were
one
established.
from like a acting family dynasty.
Yeah.
The Fondas.
And there's just like full on like breastises in like every other scene.
That's mostly JJL though.
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of Jennifer Jason Leigh boobage. Unwanted, I don't know. I'm not gonna go there. It's just unsexy, but it's just her character.
But I think what's interesting about the nudity is that I don't think it feels too male gazy.
It's not gratuitous.
It does. I mean, it's gratuitous, but I don't think it feels like. I don't know.
It's not there for like the straight guy to like jerk off to, because like Jennifer Jason Leigh,
exactly,
is just, like, right?
Like in the shower, you know, after she just murdered someone, you know, and she's just coming out of it.
I think it's there to kind of illustrate her character and how like just she's a weirdo, you know, and she's just like inappropriate, and a lot of it's just like the inappropriate nudity around like these new friends and the boyfriend and all that, and just like, oh, I'm in my panties, like here,
feels
boobs.
Feels very European.
Yeah, but it's just that girl. Like Jennifer Jason Leigh is playing like that girl, right?
Okay, what is your opinion on Jennifer Jason Leigh? Just when you see her on screen, you go like, "Oh, Jennifer Jason Leigh's on."
I'm a big Jennifer Jason Leigh fan because I like there's something a little off-hinged about her.
Yeah.
That she's just not your kind of run-of-the-mill of the time of the ingenue. I think that she has a little bit of an edge to her.
Right.
And I think that when she's like cast well in a movie, she's really fun to see on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think she's probably described a lot as quirky, right?
Sure.
Because she's like a character.
Quirky. For me, guys, I find her extremely annoying. It's one of my favorite shows on Netflix, and every time she comes on the screen, I just go, "Oh no,
oh no!"
But yeah, it's I don't know. Sorry, Jennifer, if you're listening, but
we know you are.
She's a subscriber.
And I had no idea. I Googled this. I just Googled this, and I said, "Why is Jennifer Jason Leigh annoying?" And a page came up.
Oh wow!
At amiannoying.com, which I had to know is a thing. And it has a full list of why she's annoying, like a pretty good one.
It's kind of that voice, that kind of draw. Like,
one of the entries are she admits to kicking her older sister in the boobs.
Kicking her in the boobs.
Yeah, and she sued her hairstylist for $10 million.
Oh fuck!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I need it
I'm probably going to go down a rabbit hole on this website.
Yeah.
This is.
Did the hairstylist kill her dog or something? What the fuck?
Her hair was supposed to be dyed platinum blonde, but turned rust color and started falling out.
That'll happen if you go too fast from a dark color. You got to get, there's levels. There's levels that you got to go. $10 million is crazy.
Jose, did you see Marriage Story?
I did not see Marriage Story.
So Scarlett Johansson's character is allegedly based on Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh, is that what's his name's ex-wife?
Yeah, it's Noah Baumbach's ex-wife that, he left her for Greta Gerwig.
Oh, God, these white people.
Yeah.
These white people have nothing better to do than just make movies about being rich and white and passing their children back and forth. I don't feel sorry for them. I haven't seen Marriage Story. I don't know if it's any good.
I liked Marriage Story.
It's supposed to be great. But I see what you're saying, Jose, about Jennifer Jason Leigh.
There is something very off-putting about her, but I think that's why she's well used in movies.
Well, I don't know. I don't think she's that good. Single movie I see her, I get this feeling, ugh, gosh, and it's not her character because
right,
I don't know,
because she's
a different way, and I find myself repeating the things when she delivers something. I repeat it, and then
and in a way that would be delivered better.
Right? It's like, oh, okay, why did you say it like that?
Oh man, see, well, at least in this movie, it works for Hedra because Hedra is just supposed to be super annoying. So at least it kind of plays to her favor here because fuck Hedra, what this bitch, from the first scene she walks in and you're just like, why is she going? Why she's asking this broad to move in? Why? Because the water squirted on her. Who cares?
So did you notice who was on the stack of applicants of the people that were applying for the roommate?
Helen Hunt.
And she would take a picture of it?
No.
Emilio Estevez's sister.
Well,
okay, yeah.
The one girl that was she was it was the last girl before Jennifer Jason Leigh walked in, and you thought she was gonna go for her. That girl is Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen's sister. She played Betty Finn in Heathers.
Why couldn't she just get Betty Finn to be her roommate?
I mean, yeah, for you gays that are listening. It would have
solved a lot of grief.
Yeah. Oh, we actually have to mention to all of our fans, listen to me.
I know. We have fans.
Our listeners, I like to call them listeners. I don't like to be as presumptuous as to call them fans.
You do kind of sound like an asshole.
I know. But to all of our listeners out there, our friend Jose is a contributor from Very Special Television, much like our last contributor from Very Special Television, Chris Sirigliano.
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe
Go
episode.
check it out.
Yes, indeed. Here on Movies That Made Us Gay, there are Hands Across America straight friends that are contributing to the show.
Man on the street, straight friend.
Yes, and the thing is, the reason that I thought this would be a great fit to have somebody of Jose's persuasion on this show is because this movie is, like we said, it's an erotic thriller. There's there's a sexy woman in it. You know, there are two ladies in it, but you know, Bridget Fonda's like the hottie. And I feel like as preteens, you know, as preteen adolescents watching this movie, which was, I feel like, a big hit. I don't know if it made a lot of money.
It was a pretty good sleeper hit. It made like almost $50 million.
And the thing is, the trailer was everywhere. There was an SNL sketch. You know, it was kind of in the public.
It had a big pop culture moment.
It had a big pop
90s.
culture moment. And for myself, I watched it and I felt a certain type of way about things in it. You know, there's like sexy naked ladies and stuff, but there's also just this crazy, like, the hagsploitation element that we talked about before, of just these two women throwing each other around an elevator in this like gothic romantic apartment building, and sucking Steven Weber's dick without him knowing, and like all this stuff going on. And I'm watching it just like, what? You know, and then my friends, you know, my contemporaries at the time are watching it and thinking, wow, look, there's, you know, Bridget Fonda's titty. So there's a lot that different people can take from this movie, but I do think at the end of the day, this movie falls into our wheelhouse because the crazy hagsploitation element, the super stereotypical like gay friend who lives upstairs with his like million cats, and just how like gross Hedra is. Just, the entire time watching this movie, I'm like screaming things out at the screen. The very first, let me just say this: Bridget Fonda has this iconic haircut. She's got the China Phillips hair in this movie, right? It's iconic. You know, it's Wilson Phillips. It's everything, but it's red, so it's its own thing. And I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I remember it from when I was a kid and loving it, and I'm watching it today. And the very first scene in the movie is her and Steven Weber naked in the bed, and it's a wig. And it's like a clear, the very first shot of the movie, if you watch it again, the very first scene, it's a wig. And I screamed, I was like, wig, it's a wig! I was like, this iconic hair is a fucking wig? It was only that one shot. It must have been like a pickup or like a pickup
like
shot
a
or something, a
reshoot
reshoot.
Scene or something.
But it was a wig in this scene, and it was like extra like mushroom cap. You know, because it's that like step haircut, so it was like super mushroomy. It was like, remember in Sex and the City 2 when they were like thinking back to what they looked like in the 80s? It was 80s Miranda.
Sure.
That like that terrible wig that they put her in. I think it may have been the same wig. They probably just like dusted it off and threw it on.
That would have been a Michael Patrick King note too.
Yeah. This was the wig that Bridget Fonda wore in the reshoots for Single White Female. Now, Jose, do you remember as an adolescent child watching this movie thinking, wow, naked Bridget Fonda?
I mean, all of these nude scenes as a preteen, you know, are burned in my brain. But for some reason, this doesn't, you know? Like, I when I watched it, I'm like, oh, the first scene, she's walking in the moonlight.
Yep.
Bare butt.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, I don't remember this. Which was, I'm like having this dialogue with myself. Why didn't you remember this? It was one of those actresses in that time where she was one of the ladies I had a crush on. Like, I was really into it.
And also, I think
many
that
dudes.
I probably watched this movie on cable, or not even like basic cable. So I don't think I've ever actually watched this movie not edited for TV.
With the full-on just titties in the
with
wig.
the full-on like shot of Steven Weber's where you can pretty much see his balls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That I was. Did you guys pause that section in the movie?
Oh, I know I did as a youth. I didn't do it this time because we were like snappy. We got to get through this fucking thing. We got to record. But that was definitely a pause. Wait, say that again.
So you could see it from when he from the back, even like the silhouette of what was going on in the front.
Oh yeah.
You can totally see that nutsack.
Yeah. that was like some gym locker room unwanted balls. They're just like, whoa, all right, there they are.
Do you think that Tony Goldwyn turned this role down? This strikes me as a Tony Goldwyn type of character.
Yeah, but I think Steven Weber, from his character at Wings, I think it blends in perfectly with this.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah,
nice guy. He is capable of being a dickhead. And I think that comes through for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe
Weber needs more roles.
Yeah, I think because he was on Wings and had been on for a while, it was just like, I want to break out, do a movie, do something a little bit more adult. And
I want to get stabbed with a shoe.
In the eyeball. That was brutal. We were both like, ah!
That's some gay ass shit right there. A murder by a high heel.
By a high heel, yeah.
By a high heel. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to need you to repeat that because I think it got a little muffled in the audio.
Would you say that would be his Achilles heel?
Oh my goodness. That's some super gay shit right there. That's like some drag queen shit, like stabbed in the eye with the high heel. But you know what this movie's really good at is setting up and paying
Yes,
off.
I have that in my notes, that there's a lot of lines of this movie in Don Roos' script that set something up and then they pay it off. There's like the whatever that's in the elevator that she has to take out.
That screwdriver thing to get the elevator door to close.
There's that weird old-timey bolt on Graham's door. There's all of those lines when they're in the basement laundry room.
Yeah. Of
getting locked down there.
Any everyday sharp object comes into as a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, incinerators in apartment buildings. Can you just throw anything in an incinerator?
I mean, I'm assuming that's just a super New York thing. Like those old buildings are from the 30s or something, so they have way different shit going on in the basements that we don't have here in LA. So yeah, that was weird. She just fully has barbecue lighter fluid that she's just I'm gonna burn all these clothes. So you mentioned Don Roos. Mm-hmm. Was he credited as the only screenwriter?
Yes, he is. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and it's from the novel Single White SWF Seek Same by John Lutz.
Okay, so Don Roos wrote The Opposite of Sex. Mm-hmm. What else has Don Roos written?
Happy Endings. He's done a lot of TV. He did Web Therapy with Lisa Kudrow, so he's sort of in with a lot of Lisa Kudrow's projects. And of course, Don Roos is a big old homo.
Yes, indeed.
And you can see it reflected in the script of how he writes. Kind of the little attention to detail that he puts with his female characters.
Yeah.
I think it's very adamant that a gay man wrote this script.
Sure. Now, Jose, when you're watching this movie as a straight, does any of that cross your mind at all? Are you just like, wow, this is super queer? Or are you just like, okay, this is like a psychological thriller about two ladies?
Yeah. It's okay, it's just a crazy roommate.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's
twin issues, and the two things I remember are the heel in the eyeball and the Jennifer Jason Leigh copycat haircut. Those are the two things that I remember that never left.
Yeah, I mean those are the big hallmarks of this movie. There were some lines in the trailer that I remember. You know, when you see a trailer from a million years ago and there's just certain lines that stick out, or when you watch a movie and you're just like, that line was from the trailer.
And it was probably just working the rounds in the TV spots, too.
Yeah. And I remember specifically, "Don't make me come get you." That was in the trailer.
Get me back, my son!
Yeah. Give me back, my son. Yeah. Don't make me come get you. And then there's a line after she gets the copycat haircut and she's looking at herself in the mirror and she goes, "I love myself like this." I always remember that from the TV spots and the trailer. Like, I will never forget, like, those lines specifically. But yeah, I just think that there's something very interesting that, like, Scott and I can watch this movie and just be like, oh my God, like, clearly a gay man wrote this, because it's got, like, such weird over-the-top shit going on. But that's just, like, some weird secret shit that, like, gay people can build into these movies in Hollywood that, like, mainstream audiences may just not even, like, pick up on. But, like, I don't know, there's just some weird, like, secret language that we are, like...
Yeah, and what's kind of cool about the success of this movie is that this just wasn't an underground hit that maybe made money in, like, New York and L.A.
Yeah.
It played in, like, multiplexes across the country, and people went to go see it.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, on everybody's mind in 1992 was Jane Fonda and...
Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda and Jennifer Jason Leigh and that haircut.
Yeah.
And the shoot through the eye. It just, like, hit that pop culture nerve.
Yeah, that high heel through the eye, man.
Hey, that's definitely at a nerve.
Yeah. The optic nerve. Oh, boy.
I was wondering do you think that there's a drag queen that goes by Hedra Carlson?
Hedra?
Hedra?
I mean, Hedra is a terrible name. It's one of those names that you're just like, oh God, she's just like some weird, like in some weird cult or something, like a Hedra. Like, come on.
Okay, is when you see an animal introduced in a thriller, you assume the worst for it.
Oh yeah, when that fucking dog shows up, you know that dog is not going to survive the end of this movie.
This dog, what did Buddy? She fucking pushed that dog out the window.
No, but like earlier when the dog is just nearby, she just kicks the dog.
She straight up kicks the dog. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like the dog falling out of the window is a clear turning point of the movie that, like, this bitch is crazy. Like, you knew that she was off, but that's sort of like when the movie really kicks into high gear.
When you can kill a cute golden retriever puppy.
Yeah, that's like the cutest puppy. Like, all puppies are cute, but, like, golden retriever puppies? Come on.
The reason why they get cast all the time.
Yeah.
Has anyone had a roommate issue quite like this in the movie? I've had many a college roommate, but not anything quite like this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you had, like, the most, like, turnaround as far as, like, living with.
And I have answered, like a roommate ad from a bulletin board, too.
Yeah.
Not like in a newspaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a Square 5.
A college bulletin board.
Yeah.
In the student union. Yep.
I feel like just something about, like, I feel like that's some white people shit. Like, I feel like I just would not. Do you know what I mean? I feel like just me, like, growing up and, like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to just answer some random, and especially back then, like, it wasn't even that long ago when you were in college, but still, it was a different time as far as, like, Craigslist and online. So, like, now there are dedicated websites, like Facebook-style websites, to find roommates, where there's, like, even free ones where there's, like, some kind of a vetting process. But, like, just putting an ad in a paper or, like, on a bulletin board or something, it's like, you don't know what the hell you're getting into.
But I remember... Yeah, and I remember when I did answer an ad from a bulletin board, like, I called up the girl, she walked me to the house, and it was pretty much a done deal through, like, a handshake.
Like, you're my new roommate.
Yeah.
Welcome to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't ask you if you were crazy?
No, we were just very trusting college kids.
Wow. Well, I mean, if you were both college kids at the time, I guess it's a different thing
where it's the same place in life.
And I should also mention this house that I lived in, we called it the Big Blue House. There was like 9 people living there.
I was going to say, this is where you met most of your, like, current, like, still friends.
Kind of. Yeah.
All those weirdos.
It was just a bunch of college hippies.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay. But there...
Today would just post a Facebook ad and she'd say, I live in a place that has 15 rooms and not that expensive. And it's rent controlled. Sign me up.
Yeah, that apartment. Okay, so it's set up at the beginning of this movie that Allison Jones, which is Bridget Fonda, is some kind of like web developer. She's
Sure,
got, like,
I have a lot of questions about this career of hers.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a computer program for fashion.
It's a computer program for fashion, but I feel like it also has like, it's got everything. It's like top to bottom.
Yeah,
It's got invoicing, yeah, like you said, accounting. It's got like all this stuff, top to bottom. But it also has the whole like Cher Horowitz closet where you can put the clothes onto a virtual model.
So does she just customize it for whatever business is buying it?
I think that it's only for fashion industry people.
That's part of her deal, is that she's like a clothes horse. And
Yeah, it's the M in FIDM, the Fashion Institute for Design and Merchandising. It's the merchandising and marketing, yeah. So it's like when you go to those fashion schools, it's like the business part. But for 1992, this is pretty like forward thinking. Like there's no kind of computer program that can do what Allison Jones can do.
Also, Allison Jones's character is really interesting because this would have been a pre-Carrie Bradshaw single lady takes on New York. Just this like sophisticated New York gal.
Yeah. Okay.
She's Manhattanite.
Mm-hmm.
She is
Manhattanese.
But it's set up at the beginning that she is able to live in this fabulous apartment that's rent controlled because of a settlement from a previous business partner that like went south. So right off the bat, she's experienced like having relationships that have gone sour and like, you know, having to like come back from that, because when she meets Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day, Ned Ryerson, and she's like explaining all this whole situation. There's some weird exposition about like, oh, the settlement, and you know, you don't have any overhead because you live and work in this like fabulous apartment. So he lowballs her on this quote to,
and then he lowballs him later.
Ayo, she really lowballs him. But here's my question about that. Ned Ryerson, the entire like first half of the movie, is playing this character like super gay. I did not think like, okay, for
you had one like shoulder grab that lingered long, and that's when I thought, oh, okay,
he's going to sexually harass her. But if you didn't think it was that kind of a movie, if you didn't already know this is an erotic psychological thriller, I feel like you would just think that he's playing this character like super gay. I just thought that. Like, what the fuck? Like, now all of a sudden he's dropping his pants and like expecting her to like blow him. I don't know. It was kind of weird. It's kind of
he feels a little miscast.
I do. Yeah, I agree. I feel like he's a little miscast. But, you know, initially he like lowballs her in this quote to like work for him, and she ends up taking it even though she knows she can like get more, but that's just to show that she's a pushover. She's
not very assertive of how she deals with him, and then it later pays off of how she has to deal with
Hetty.
Hetty.
I hate that name. And then, okay. The entire thing that sets off all the events of this movie is that she's dating Steven Weber from Wings. What's the character's name in this movie?
Sam Rosen.
Sam. She's dating Sam. They're like boning in the very first shot of the movie. It's nighttime. It's the middle of the night, and he gets a call from his ex-wife. And the ex-wife is like calling, and it's like, okay, he's divorced. You know, you give him a little leeway. He's divorced, whatever. And then it comes out because we hear it over the answering machine.
A lot of answering machines.
machines in this movie. if it's that thing where, you know, you pick up after the answering machine picked up, you hear the audio, and she hears the audio, and the ex-wife is like, you came over and you boned me and you left. So she hears that, like, oh damn, he like fucked his ex-wife, and like we're in the middle of a relationship. She loses her mind. She loses her mind. She's like, get out of my house. Like, she's like, it's over. She's crying. I feel like it's a little overkill, but that's just how, you know, ladies work. But that sets off the entire like events of this movie. Is he slept with his ex-wife in, you know, I don't know, a crime of passion, would you call it?
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know. To me, I'm just like, girl, calm down.
I know.
Like,
calm down, girl. I think we'll get through it.
Yeah, you'll survive. She's like, kicks him out of the house. It sets off the whole thing of, now I need a roommate, whatever.
But she says that she wants the roommate because she's just alone crying, and she wants somebody to keep her company,
I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
A roommate to the furnace.
What's that?
Just talk to your upstairs roommate through the
heater in the wall.
You got your gay bestie upstairs.
I know. He's got cats. He's got wine. Like, just go hang out with him. Like, you don't need a roommate. Like, why would you invite some stranger into your house because your boyfriend kind of cheated on you? Yeah.
Well, he did cheat on her.
And they were talking about marriage, I think, like earlier in that evening on the bed.
Oh, okay. In the wig scene.
Yeah.
I was too focused on that wig on her head to like listen to anything they were talking about. Okay. So this sets off the entire events of the movie. She puts in this ad in the newspaper. Single white female seeking ASL.
Free on that. A single white or female.
And this is where Hedra comes in. She's a weirdo. She's just like a Duggar.
She looked like she just came off like the compound.
She looks like 19 Kids and Counting.
Sure.
Like she just needs like the big bangs
and
in
I
the
think
front
that,
and like the French braid all the way down the back, you know?
And Bridget Fonda's character, I think, just finds her neurotic and just sort of charming.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the draw of her.
Yeah,
I always want to say...
Like in high school, just like, oh, I'll just entertain like this nerd for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
kind of.
Like she's not as cute as me, so I don't have anything to worry about.
Right.
Like girls like Bridget Fonda, like, do they think that way? Like, I don't know. I don't want to be presumptive.
The faucet exploded on you, so I guess you're my roommate now.
Yeah,
so.
and you knew how to turn it off, so you're in.
And I always want to say Hedra. I want to say Hedra. Hetty. So Hetty just like immediately latches onto her too. That she finds out about the boyfriend. She was like, "Are you sure you're not going to? Are you sure you're not going to get back together?
You're not going to get back together with this guy and just like kick me out." Oh, but what we forgot to mention is that the whole fucking movie starts off with this black and white montage over the credits of these twins.
Yeah.
Are they not in the mirror? Oh, they're now. Yeah.
I feel like the whole backstory is kind of dropped a little bit. Like it's referenced later in the movie when she ends up calling the parents, but I feel like it was probably one of those things that in Don Roos scripts there were early versions that was a bigger deal, and that's just sort of what came out in the final
you
draft.
Can't give it away.
Yeah.
Right. You can't give it away, but I think they gave it away with the little kid twins at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you really didn't need that first scene.
No. It was too much of like, oh, okay, now I get it.
It's almost like a studio note where they think that audiences are going to be confused.
She either killed the other one.
And she's trying to find the replacement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe she just likes to kill and she wants to like get obsessed, go overboard, and then move on to the next department.
Yeah.
I love people in crazy people in movies that save old newspaper clippings. We were just watching Misery, and Annie Wilkes has like a whole scrapbook of all of the fucked up shit that she does. Yeah. And I love that people just want to hold on to that. I guess that might be a real thing. Of like serial killers or something. Yeah. Like if you're crazy, you want it documented. Yeah. You want like a memento that it happened. Yeah. Annie Wilkes, that's another one. Oh, we'll get to Misery eventually. I love Annie Wilkes. Is it bad that I identify with Annie Wilkes? No. I do get mistaken for Kathy Bates often on the street. He does, but that's neither here nor there. So the boyfriend Steven Weber is like leaving answering machine messages that like Hedra erases. Mm-hmm. He's sending letters that Hedra takes and like hides, or she keeps them in her like stash of newspaper clippings. Which, well, it's a threat to her living situation. So, it's like, okay. Yeah. I mean, it is a beautiful New York apartment that she wants to keep living in. I'd kill my roommate's boyfriend to stay in that apartment. It's rent controlled. I mean, I'm sure that for New York, that apartment was probably only like $600 a month. I mean, 1992 Manhattan, like that's like some shit right there. You can like... You may run into like Heather B. and like Eric Nies just like walking down the street. You never know what's going on in 1992 in Manhattan. Like that is like a hotbed of like cool shit. We'll get to the sex club later. Oh my God, this fucking S&M club. I mean, we can just talk about it now. That's on. I'm replaying it just in the corner just to look at, and yep, we're there now. Are you at the S&M club now? Okay. Well, at this point, she's fully Allison Jones. She's got the hair. She's got the like. This is when it really turns into like a noir doppelganger. Like she's following her. This is like an old classic movie. But I love that she's following her, but she's following her like 5 steps behind. Yeah, like, Hedra can't turn around and just see her. Jennifer Jason Leigh does a 180 to go down the stairs, facing Bridget Fonda, and doesn't see her. That's what I think is super effective about when they both get the same haircuts, because there's scenes of them that you don't really know who it is. Yeah, but you sort of have to do a double take of like what actress is on screen. Yeah, you can tell by the arms. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Teeny tiny arms. Yes, I did notice that. There's like some like she wears like tank like when they're just at home or whatever. I noticed where she was like sitting down once. I was like, oh my God, like Bridget Fonda's arms are so skinny. Man, Bridget Fonda, that one. Whatever happened to Bridget Fonda? That's in my notes. Yeah, I don't know. Did she just retire? Her last IMDb credit is a Hallmark Channel movie of The Snow Queen. The Snow Queen. And she has not worked since 2002. Do you think that, like, making shitty movies like Lake Placid probably just burned her out? I mean, is she, like, she's, Hollywood. I mean, like, she's probably just so rich that she just doesn't have to work. I was just going to say, is she just rich enough that she's just like, fuck it, I'm good? Mm-hmm. Maybe. I would do that. I mean, fuck, if I didn't have to. But, I mean, she has some pretty good credits. She's in A Simple Plan with Billy Bob Thornton. She's really good in Jackie Brown. Yeah. Is that the only Tarantino movie she was in? Yeah. Wow. I feel like she's a Tarantino type. Mm-hmm. Like, right? Don't you think that he would, like, use her more? Yeah, and there's some, like, gratuitous foot shots in that movie of her on the couch. Gross. Okay, so I feel like it's like the first night where Hedra got the Allison Jones like full on look, and she's like, I'm gonna go out on the town and like fuck some shit up with my new Wilson Phillips hair, and Allison follows her. Yeah. Well, the whole time you were watching this movie, you're like, okay, is this the tipping point for when Bridget Fonda should kick her out of the house? Yeah. But it ends up being this curiosity thing. It's like, okay, well, what's her deal? Now I'm just going to like tail her for 30 minutes of this movie instead of getting her out of my nice apartment. Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like people like
the gay neighbor upstairs is like, no, she's out, get her out. You know, like there are signs, there are things telling her, take her out, but she just doesn't.
I didn't even catch that he was gay. Did I miss like a sentence here, or? I
mean, we are just like spotting that interior decorating, what he's wearing.
No,
That's a very classic square gay guy from the early 90s.
All he's missing is like a tiny ponytail in the back. No,
Kevin Pollak.
Ah, yes. No, there is one like throwaway line where he says a man's name, and she's just like, "You'll find somebody," and he's like,
and she mentions to Hetty that there's a man upstairs. Don't worry, he's gay.
Yeah, because she's like, "Oh, my friend upstairs," and Hetty's like, "Oh, your friend," and she's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, he's gay." Yeah.
Which, hey, 92
representation,
representation in like a major studio movie.
Yeah,
where the character's called out. And
in the SNL sketch, Single White Person, where it was an It's Pat sketch.
Oh, it's
Joe Pesci.
It's Joe Pesci, and Joe Pesci kind of knocking this little role out of the park. I think he's really funny in it.
He plays the upstairs neighbor, and he's holding like this fake cat and just like stroking this like cat the entire time, and it's really funny.
It's just like, I'm sure that, okay, Joe Pesci, just New York, gay Manhattanite. Okay, I got it.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like in 2020, an It's Pat sketch is probably not super like cool right now.
I mean, Pat's like gender fluid. He was like into like gender neutral before it was cool. He was into like the there and them,
which I agree with. You know, Pat is essentially a gender neutral character. They, their, them, but at the time and the way it's executed is probably not as sensitive right now, but it's a really funny sketch, you guys. If you can find Single White Person.
And Melanie Hutzel is the
Hedra.
Is the Hedra character, and she's really funny in it.
Yeah, it's actually a really funny sketch. It goes on a little too long, but it's good. And Joe Pesci plays the upstairs neighbor, and he plays him really Queenie, and it's kind of funny.
Awesome.
So Scott and I have thoughts about this crazy S&M club that you go to.
That would have had to have been like a gay club from Manhattan, like the Anvil or something in the meatpacking district.
The Cock? No, it's not the Cock because it's all straight people who are watching weird sex acts.
But do you think that they shot it at one?
No.
I bet they did.
No.
I bet they did.
I also think that there would be like a crazy cover. She just like waltzes into this club and is just like, oh, there's like S&M activities.
Meanwhile, that'll be $30 please at the door. What do you think was behind?
What were they watching?
What were they watching?
I think they were watching someone get whipped.
Yeah.
That's it. Just someone get whipped, like maybe spanked. That's it. But that's like super titillating to like straight Manhattanites.
It wasn't like somebody getting like doused in wax or anything.
No.
I like that. To Bridget Fonda in that scene, it was like a haunted house where like out of nowhere to grab her face, and like a woman comes up to her and is like, "Lord, you want to get out of here?" And she's like, "No!" Like every time she turns, it's something like that she doesn't want. Jennifer Jason Leigh doing there just to have kick back?
I mean, she was just meeting some guy for drinks. It looked like
a Diet Coke. She wasn't even getting drinks because the bartender. First of all, the bartender called her Allison. So he was like, "Hey, Allison, regular or diet?" And she goes, "Diet." So she goes to this S&M
She had been there before, and she had gone by the name Allison then.
Yes. So she goes enough times that the bartender knows who she is, calls her Allison, and knows that her signature drink is a Diet Coke.
So weird.
She's going to the sex club. She's drinking diet soda. Bitch, have a drink.
Turns on eggs and bacon earlier and makes a smoothie instead.
Yeah, she's just trying to keep her day even, you know.
trying to keep those arms skinny.
She's got skinny arm like Envy. Oh. But so Bridget Fonda sees this, freaks out, leaves because like there's like people want to like eat her brains. They're just like, like single lady brains. But let me tell you this:
do not feed the drug child.
Do not feed the drug child.
Corner.
But let me tell you this: what I have heard about these crazy like straight people like S&M clubs is that, and this is what I've seen from Netflix, so it's true, is that when you go to like a straight person like sex club, that the men are not allowed to initiate anything. Like men are not allowed to like touch anything.
It's all up to the woman.
Yes, that the women have to like. It's a very like consent oriented situation. So like those men that were just like, oh, like Allison Brains, like that's not real. That's like for the movie. But yeah, that was also just to illustrate like what a weird and kooky place this was. But also a woman like fully propositioned her when she first walked in. The first person to proposition her was like this would like sophisticated lady was just like,
Hey, but if you're playing Enigma, I'm there.
That's the name of that band. I was trying that song. Oh, that what is the name of that song?
Sadness Part 2 or 1?
Oh, Sadness Part 2.
Whatever was on the Pure Mood soundtrack was playing.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete.
We don't own that.
Okay, Pete. According to IMDb trivia, the BDSM club interior was from a former real Manhattan S&M club called The Vault, a.k.a. Hellfire Club in the meatpacking district of Greenwich Village. The interior set, but the red signature V is on one of the walls.
Well,
the entrance used was from the gay club side called the Manhole.
Oh shit!
So they do enter a famous gay bar.
There was a gay bar in New York City in Manhattan in the 90s called the Manhole. I feel like that's a little derivative. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
We got where do they
go?
The
Blue Oyster.
The Blue Oyster Police Academy.
Dun, 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 dun. Where do they go there in Wayne's World? Where are they?
In Wayne's World, it's the Toolbox.
Don't they?
Toolbox.
We were just
Wayne's World 2.
We were just watching that scene of Wayne's World 2.
It's
also.
either the Toolbox or the Tool Shed. It's one of the two. Something with tools. And they dance to the YMCA. That's a really good scene. So at this point, Hetty is fully immersed in like the alley fantasy. Mm-hmm. She's just like living her alley she's living her alley fantasy. She's living her best life with this like red.
And then from here, she ends up in Steven Weber's hotel apartment.
Boy. Oh yeah.
She gives Steven Weber a BJ.
I'm not really understanding why Steven Weber is in a hotel at this point.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing too.
Because it's established that this is a hotel room, but
do you think he's just renting it for the month?
Yeah,
like an extended stay America kind of a thing, where he's just like, I'm engaged to Bridget Fonda. I'm moving into her place soon. So now that she's got the hair, she's able to just like slide into his bed and just be like, I'm gonna just.
It's Dana Carvey in the arm. It's Dana Carvey in the SNL sketch. Just look at her arms.
It's a dead giveaway. Oh yeah, the SNL sketch is Dana Carvey.
It's Dana Carvey.
Oh, it's Pat. Those It's Pat sketches. I'm telling you, insensitive.
Whenever we pass that soda,
the Fair Oaks Pharmacy.
I always think of It's Pat the movie.
Oh yeah, I remember those scenes.
Yeah, It's Pat the movie. Not a great movie.
Yeah, I don't remember a single thing from it. I remember Dave Foley.
Dave Foley is
Kathy Griffin's in
Chris. Yeah, Kathy Griffin is in it.
One of those would be a 7-minute sketch rather than a 90-minute feature.
Yes, indeed. I feel like the single white person sketch is better than the entire It's Pat movie. So her idea is he's a cheater. He's cheated on you in the past. He will cheat on you again, and he will do it with me and these matronly upper arms, and then I'll tell you all about it. So she goes, now that she's got the Allie hair, even the doorman thinks that she's Allison Jones from behind. Mm-hmm. Everybody's thinking that it's her.
Allison Jones is such a Melrose Place name, too.
Oh, my God, yeah. Mm-hmm. Allison Jones is totally a Melrose Place name. And she looks like a Melrose Place character.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the hair of not Sydney. Sydney's sister.
Blonde, right? Or
yeah, she was blonde in Melrose Place. She really had the China Phillips hair because it was fully just blonde. I think
it was.
Yeah, it actually was in disguise. So she goes. So this is the scene where she goes to Steven Weber's hotel room, and this is where we see his like everything. And there's some like now that we've got full like high definition television, and like you can pause some shit going on now,
and you can totally see those balls.
We're not going to put that on the Instagram because we will get reported.
It would probably be flagged.
It will be flagged and taken down.
So I was thinking that I had only seen bits and pieces of this on cable, and I had never actually properly sat down and watched the entire movie, not edited for TV.
Sure, and it's up there with.
And they definitely left that out of the TBS broadcast.
So she's all right. We're gonna break this down right here. We're gonna get deep into this because she's blowing Steven Weber, and he's like, "Oh, Allison." Oh, Allison Jones, and your awesome, like, thin arms and Wilson Phillips hair. And then she looks up and she goes, I'm not Allison. And then he's just like, I can't stop coming.
Mm-hmm. He then fetal position himself, like, in the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I feel like there's ways to get out of, like, an unwanted blowjob. I don't know.
That's
because she says, she's like, oh, you knew it was me and you didn't stop.
Right.
Which kind of, at that point, I don't know. Maybe at that point he's just like, all right, let's just get this over with so I can kick you out.
And I feel like if he were to explain the situation to Allison, I feel like she would be like, I can totally see why you thought that.
Yeah, Allison would fully be on his side.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the fake hair. She's got all that. It's like, yeah, that's why she stabbed him in the eyeball with that high heel.
Yeah.
But what was he going to do? He came after her because that scene just played out on my screen.
Yes, because
he throws the shoe at him as it was about to leave, and then he comes kind of aggressively towards her.
Yes.
Very aggressive.
Yes, very aggressively. And she's...
He deserved to be, murdered, but
yeah,
what was he gonna do?
No, you're absolutely right, because later on when she is explaining to Allison, she says, oh, and then he was gonna beat the shit out of me because I was gonna tell you, and it kind of looked like he was gonna beat the shit out of her.
Yeah,
because he fully was like lunging.
So it
for
sort
her.
of was self-defense.
Yeah, but
it was the back of a shoe, right in the eye.
Yeah.
Retina.
And they set up those shoes earlier because she was wearing them, and Allison was like, they both had the same shoe. And Allison was like, oh, they look better with your outfit. You get them. And she was like, oh, no, you buy them. So, like, there's all these little, like, setup and payoff moments where they set something up and they pay it off later on. And that shoe is a big payoff. Because they kind of, you kind of would think it's just like, oh, a little like whatever. You don't even think about it. It's just they're shopping. It's a shopping montage. But then they fully like,
I thought the shoe was in the movie poster, but that's Devil Wears Prada.
Yes,
this is true. Yep,
wrong poster. It's a red shoe in Devil Wears Prada,
and totally different genre.
Well, still super gay. But, I mean, it all comes to, I mean, the biggest moments in this movie are like this crazy bitch fight at the end.
Yeah, when they're running through the downstairs or when they're running through the basement.
Like, they're running through this entire building.
Yeah.
Like, they're in the elevators.
So she starts up tied up in the living room, and then, they're at one point running through the entire floor. So do you think that she's going to put her in the suitcase?
Well, yeah, her intention was to put her in a suitcase and get her the hell out. Because like building security was there because she was playing the music too loud. So she gets a suitcase, and then like Ned Ryerson like interrupts. This bitch is back because she set up this like fail safe in the software where if you don't pay her ass, she deletes all your shit.
I love that there's like an alarm built in.
Which I don't know how legal that is, but it's kind of genius.
Well, they should have paid Allison too.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was in the fine print and he just was like, whatever, and just signed it. And it was there, and it was just like, don't pay your bill, bitch, and I'll delete all your back catalog. But so that happens. So Ned Ryerson comes back, and again is just super gross and inappropriate when he sees her like tied up, and he's just like, oh, like I'll take this duct tape off her mouth,
like straddling her,
straddling you with like my balls in your face, but like I'll also take the duct tape off. So like she like shoots this guy.
I do like that we're at a point in society where you get that shocking scene with him where he comes onto her.
Yeah.
And you see her kick him right in the balls. And you just like cheer. That's such a satisfying scene.
She like holds her fists like this. Like her hands and does like an uppercut like volleyball.
Like a volleyball, yeah.
You know, right in the
Right in it looked like she was like holding something like in the shot, but it's definitely that volleyball. Like she's like, what do you call it? At the clasp. Yeah.
I was on a plane once going to Washington with that actor.
With Ned Ryerson?
It took me nearly the entire flight to figure out what movie I had seen him in.
Every movie?
And do you know what I landed on?
What'd you land?
It was not Groundhog's Day. It was Memento.
Stephen Tobolowsky is in Memento?
Yeah. He's the guy that Guy Pearce keeps mentioning in the movie.
Well, his name is actually Stephen Tobolowsky, and he actually has a documentary about
just that
he's in so many movies.
Hey, I know you from something.
Yeah, I think it might actually be called that. Like, it's got a name like you're that one guy. Yeah, he's got a documentary about the fact that he's in so much shit as like a character guy. And that he gets stopped all the time. Yeah, I think his name is in Prime. I'll look it up. We'll put it on the Instagram. His name's Stephen Tobolowsky, not Ned Ryerson. And I'm sure he's not a sexual predator.
I'm sure he's a lovely person.
He's probably a lovely person. But you should kick him in the balls if you see him for what he did to Allison Jones.
Oh yeah, he was in Silicon Valley. That's right.
Ah. So Allison stabs Hedra in the arm or like in the shoulder a couple of times.
It's like a glass in hand.
Shards of glass, right? Yeah. But she fully gets shot.
Yeah.
She shoots Allison
shoots
in
her right in the shoulder.
Yeah.
She finishes off this movie with a fucking bullet in her arm. Like,
this is an epic showdown.
Yes, showdown.
That's going to be
crazy.
A hell of a story to explain to the cops.
The elevator ride down to the basement is insane.
I laughed.
No, we were cackling at this elevator ride.
Their head hitting things.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So many heads like being shoved into wrought iron like elevator grates. This building, I'm telling you, this building is from the 30s. So everything that it's made out of is like,
if not older,
lethal.
Yeah.
So they're like
shoving each other's pointy corners
faces.
In this building,
shoving each other's faces into like lead. Like lead accents.
And that's what's fun about the movie is that it's fully turned up to like 10.
Yeah. By this point.
To like 11.
Yeah. At this point, it is out of control.
It is out of fucking control.
They're actively trying to murder each other.
What I wouldn't give to have seen this movie, like, with a crowd full of gay men in like Greenwich Village in New York, that I'm sure that everyone was just losing their goddamn mind at this scene.
I think this movie is kind of a forgotten masterpiece. I think that this can stand up to some repeat viewings and to some...
And what I think is kind of cool about it is that it's this genre high-concept movie of the crazy roommate, but it's very artfully done.
Sure.
Like, it's kind of elevated. Like, they take this very pulpy material and they make it kind of... They take it to the next level.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like the actors are all really good.
Like how the shots are composed and directed, how all of the scenes are lit, too.
Yeah, totally.
Lit AF.
Lit as fuck.
It is definitely litty, as the kids say these days. But this final showdown, we end up we're down in the bowels of this building because it's this old New York building. So there's they have these storage cages down there, like in the basement.
I always think of Rosemary's Baby.
Yes,
and all the scenes in the basement.
Yes, it's very Rosemary's Baby in that respect.
And it calls back to that scene where Allison tells her, "I don't like to come down here late. It freaks me out. Just lock the door."
Yeah. Yeah, and they have this whole showdown down there by themselves. Yeah, they're alone down there in this basement, like murdering each other. Because the gun eventually doesn't work, right? Like the gun's just like...
Yeah, Bridget Fonda gets the gun in the elevator, and I guess it's got 2 bullets in it.
Yeah.
They were used on Ned Ryerson, and then...
Yeah, and because she was going to kill them both or herself or just... whatever, but yeah, the gun's gone.
And we should also mention that the gay roommate has survived. He comes to in his bathtub with his cat curled up next to him.
Yeah, the gay roommate lived. She beat the shit out of him with that pole, and he was just alive in that bathtub the entire time.
She just knocked him out,
I guess.
Cat revived him.
and now he's like Catwoman. He's got cat powers. Oh man. Okay, so what is at the end of the final showdown? There's no more bullets in the gun. How does Hedra meet her final end?
Well, straight out of Commando, Bridget Fonda is hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, upside down.
She gives her Bridget gives her a fake out.
Yeah.
That she thinks that she's dead, and when she comes back around the corner, she's gone.
Yeah, she faked... she does the whole, I'm dead from you choking me, and then Jason Leigh's got to go get a wheelbarrow.
It's so complicated.
I mean, how else was she going to get her out of there?
Now, is she going to put her in the incinerator at this point? Who knows?
I thought she was just going to put her in the incinerator. The wheelbarrow.
Fucking Hedra. But yeah, this whole hanging from the ceiling, it's very Commando. I love that. and Hedra has this meat hook in her hand.
I Know What You Did Last Summer hook.
Yes, it is totally. It's 100% the I Know What You Did Last Summer meat hook, with the handle and just a hook in her hand. And she's like, and that's when she's like, "Don't make me come get you." And that line's from the trailer. Oh man, shit. And then it just cuts to this voiceover of Bridget Fonda at the end, just yeah, I fucking killed that bitch.
I'm gonna try to forgive her one day.
Yeah,
was there kind of a line?
Yeah,
that was kind of like that.
I'll get over.
It was because the Jennifer, Hetty never forgave herself for her twin's death, and it's
yeah,
Allison.
I'll try to forgive.
Yeah,
Hedra
is gonna try to forgive Hedra,
Ugh.
but also fuck that bitch.
Yeah. She ruined your life.
Also, this is going to be a really interesting story to tell the cops.
True.
When they're questioning all of them of how this all went down.
Who is this dead broad in the basement? There's no record of her living in your house. Oh, because that was the whole thing. Because this is a rent-controlled apartment, she couldn't put Hedra on the lease. Mm-hmm. So The landlords didn't know that she lived there, so it was like all clandestine.
Yeah.
But that like fed into her like getting away with like murdering all these people. Oh, too much.
And she was almost going to peg it on Allison. Too.
Yeah, that was her plan.
Mm-hmm.
It was good in like covering up her tracks and getting away with all these like little crimes.
Yeah.
And dusting off the fingerprints and changing her hair color. You know, she's pretty methodical.
Yeah. Well, I guess the idea is that she's done this like several times before.
There's been many single white females.
So many single white females.
There is a single white female too, but we have not watched it.
Oh, no,
I'm sure it is garbage.
Yeah. Is Mila Kunis
Single?
No, that's American Psycho too.
Oh, jeez. Is anybody of note in single white female
I don't
too?
think so.
Probably not.
No.
I hope not.
Do you remember us seeing the single white female ripoff movie with Leighton Meester?
Yes.
The Roommate?
The Roommate.
I think that we saw that like in the first few months that we were going out.
Yes, indeed.
We saw that at the Santa Anita Mall. And then I met your parents right after.
Oh, did we go straight to my mom's?
We went straight to your mom's.
Straight to Melinda's? Wow.
I have a crazy memory when it comes to going to movies.
Yeah, you sure do. I do remember that. The Roommate with Leighton Meester.
Jose, did you see that?
The Roommate?
Yeah.
No, I did not see it, but I am seeing that single white female too has Brooke Burns.
Oh, jeez.
Brooke Burns.
So it's like softcore porno, right?
Is Brooke Burns like a Charlie Sheen girlfriend?
Wasn't she like a Fear Factor person? What was her deal?
That sounds right. Fear Factor sounds right to me. Something like that. I was going to say like Extra or something.
She dated like Bruce Willis, maybe? I don't know. Maybe.
That also sounds right. Jeez. But she's not the Doritos girl.
No, that's Allie Larder.
That's Allie Larder. There you go.
Okay.
Doritos Super Bowl girl.
Allie Larder from Varsity Blues and Heroes?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's
Like Allie Larder. It's very close to it.
Yeah.
All right, Googly, what do you got?
Well,
it was 3 letters off.
What? Wait, who?
Allie Landry.
Allie Landry.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Allie Landry was just sort of this actress from the early aughts that didn't quite catch on.
Yeah.
The Doritos girl.
I knew exactly who you were talking about when you meant when you said the Doritos girl.
That Verizon girl. Somebody referenced her recently, and I hadn't thought about her in a long time.
So, okay. Jose, would you recommend people watch this movie today in 2020?
I mean, for the genre, just because we don't have anything like this now.
Yeah, studios don't make movies like this anymore. You don't see modest, or I mean, I guess this wasn't original because this is based on a book, but this is not really it's high concept to an extent, but yeah, studios don't really make movies like this anymore, and they should.
Yeah.
Like a genre, like a psychological thriller, we're not making a lot.
Do you know what movie really reminded me of this when we saw it last year? Was Greta.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Jose, did you see Greta?
I saw it. I watched it on mute on the plane at Candy Crush.
But I remember when we saw Greta and Isabelle Huppert and Chloe Grace Moretz. And I just remember thinking that this movie would have killed if it would have been released in like 93.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And it's just sort of came and went.
Yeah. And you would have seen Chloe Grace Moretz's boobs in 93.
Definitely.
It would have been a scandal. I mean, I recommend people watch this movie.
I would recommend it. I would also recommend look at the career of Don Roos. Yeah, because he has had a fascinating career as a screenwriter. He directed and wrote The Opposite of Sex, a movie that I feel like really holds up. We went back and revisited it a few months ago. Still really funny. I think Lisa Kudrow is so good in that movie. So definitely watch The Opposite of Sex. And yeah, definitely check out Single White Female because I think it is a underrated hagsploitation classic.
Yes, indeed. And you can also check out Steven Weber on Wings on Amazon Prime.
And 13 Reasons.
Oh, jeez. If you want to see him in some more wholesome fare, you can see him in that. But if you'd like to see the back of his balls, you can watch Single White Female, and we'll post the timestamp on our Instagram. But actually, Wings is a really good show, you guys.
Love Wings.
Like, it's really funny. Like, I feel like it's an underrated NBC sitcom. Was it
kind of like a placeholder filler, but ended up holding its own?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it lasted like, 7, 8 seasons? It lasted a long time, like longer than it should have.
All of their careers.
Like, it was just sort of the Entourage of its day. Like, do you remember when, like, Entourage was like, Entourage has been on for like 6 years.
And you're like, what?
And you're just like, wow, how do you like that? I feel like Wings was like that in the 90s.
Yeah. But, I mean, Wings had, like, early Tony Shalhoub,
Church.
Yeah, Thomas Hayden Church.
Beck.
Amy Yazbek from Men in Tights. Love Amy Yazbek. Love Men in Tights and the Problem Child.
Yeah.
I think she's better in Problem Child 2.
What was that one called?
What's that?
Exorcist remake, or The Exorcist, like the Leslie Nielsen version of
Repossessed?
Yes. Amy Yazbek. I think.
Dude, I love Repossessed. It's so stupid.
It's a good theme.
Yes. But Wings also has Crystal Bernard, who Crystal Bernard is just, I mean, her career is prolific. She started off on Happy Days. She made her way to It's a Living. She's on Wings. She has a really good, this is some deep dive shit right here, but Crystal Bernard has she had a short-lived music career, yes, and she had a top, I would say, like top 20, top maybe 50 hit duet with Peter Cetera from Chicago. Love Peter Cetera, right? And I'm gonna find the name of the song because it's a really fucking good song. It's a banger, dude. I'll figure it out and I'll report that later on. It's so good.
Dracula Dead and
Dracula Dead and Loving It. Yeah.
More Amy Yazbek goodness. But yeah, go and watch yourself some Wings. It's a really great show. I think it might be still on Amazon Prime. I don't know. But at any rate, Steven Weber, he's a great guy. He also has a career as a voiceover.
I listened to the 45-hour audiobook where he narrates It by Stephen King, and he's really, really good in it.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Bet you didn't know that little tidbit. But yeah, I think we definitely recommend watching this movie. It's a little bit of it's got just like little tidbits of like all these really classic movies. It's got little bits of Rosemary's Baby. It's got little bits of like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Like it's got just so much.
It has classic noir themes of like the doppelganger.
Yeah.
Tales of obsession too.
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely a recommend from us. Does anybody have any final thoughts on Single White Female?
Let me look at my.
What do you have in your notes?
I could be when this quarantine is over, I could be emerging from the house in the China Phillips haircut.
With the Wilson Phillips hair?
With the Wilson Phillips haircut.
Would it be red or blonde? That's the question.
Red.
Oh, I have something written here. So they, she's bummed out, and Jennifer Jason Leigh suggests that they go get Chinese food or get Chinese takeout. And is that just like 90s New York, the only option?
Yeah.
They're going to eat from the box, Jose.
They're going to eat with chopsticks right out of the takeout box. Yeah, I think in New York it was Chinese.
Grubhub.
Yeah. It was Chinese takeout, but you could also get donuts at the same place. or what is that weird like East Coast Roy Rogers,
Roy
Rogers, like that's like super specific, like New York fast food. Yeah, I have. Let's see, what are some notes I have? Unsexy boobage. Unsexy boobage. Ned Ryerson, super gay. Diet soda at the sex club. Yeah.
Just real quick, I had a question about when they got the bill and Bridget Fonda tore off the the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
What is that? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just
is that a receipt? Like what?
Yeah, I don't know. There's maybe a credit card thing. I don't know.
Is that a ticket number?
Yeah, it's for her car. It's a valet. It was just for valet. I remember something about this movie that I saw at the time, and being like 12 or 13 in 1992 when this came out, and seeing it and just it blew my mind. Was that one of the multiple sex scenes in this movie? They were having sex in a chair.
Yeah,
not in a
chair
bed.
Sex, and I was just like, "That's possible?
You can do it in a chair."
Blew my mind. What? Yeah.
Also in the movie.
Yeah, just too much. This movie's just opening doors. But I definitely recommend watching this movie. There's a lot going on.
It's pretty bananas.
Yeah. But it's fun.
And I think it holds up reasonably well too.
Yeah, I mean, it's dated in that there's like answering machines and the crazy computers and all that. But otherwise,
but like I said, it's a very well directed movie. I think it's very kind of just beautifully made too. For as insane as this material is, I think it's really given the golden treatment by the director.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Oh goodness, this was a lot. Ooh. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem. This was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we had a good old fashioned like phone chat, like when you would call up your friends in like junior high or high school and just chat on the phone
for hours at a time
and just talk about nothing.
Hey, I was looking at your list of movies that you've done, and I don't see Fifth Element on here.
Oh my goodness.
That be a thing you'd want to do sometime?
That's hot Bruce Willis. Has the who does the costumes? It's Gautier costumes.
Yeah, Gautier. I definitely think Fifth Element is on the list. We have not done it yet. I mean, Mila Jovovich is iconic. Mm-hmm. The movie's iconic. I mean, yeah, for sure. We'll definitely hit that. And you're welcome to come back on for that production. Jose, do you have? Can you plug anything on this show? Would you like to talk about anything anywhere that people can find you?
Yeah, I guess I've got a Bandcamp. So josegalvez.bandcamp, I guess that would be a place. Got some solo stuff.
Awesome. We can listen to your cool music on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I'm recording a lot of music in this time period, and they're all Corona songs. And I think I'm going to keep recording Corona songs till we're out of it. So this album could be 5 songs, or it could be 35 songs.
Have you recorded My Corona yet? Like My Sharona?
No.
If you like, not. Do you like Pina Corona? Not like that. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show.
You all should go check out VSTV on anywhere podcasts are streamed.
Go listen to
old episodes of Very Special Television. They're so funny.
If you love serious episodes of funny sitcoms, go listen to Very Special Television, and me and Jose will make you laugh some more.
Oh my God, Bridget Fonda's throwing the rat on her.
Oh, she threw a rat.
She threw that fucking rat on her.
Serves her right. Fucking Hedra.
Sorry. I forgot we didn't talk about that. Throwing rat.
That's some like John Waters.
She threw a rat.
Shit right there. Throwing rodents on
her bloody stump arm.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, listeners, we would love it if you would rate and review our show. You can find us anywhere podcasts can be found. You're listening to us right now. But if you are on iTunes, we'd love it if you would rate and review us.
Give us 5 stars.
Give us 5
I want
stars.
to see over 5. I want to see over 30 5-star reviews.
We
soon.
need more 5-star reviews. We need more ratings. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Movies That Made Us Gay. You can also find us on Twitter at MTMUGPod. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.